Welcome to Life in My Greenhouse. Today, I'm sharing my favorite chocolate chip cookie recipe with you. An easy go-to recipe that you can batch prepare ahead of time. I'll share 2 ways to freeze and store your cookie dough so you can always have fresh baked cookies on hand when an emergency cookie craving strikes. I'll also share a tip to get a chocolate-filled center that my family just can't resist. So, without further ado, let's get into the kitchen. We'll be using 3/4 of a cup of melted butter or 1.5 sticks, 1 cup of packed brown sugar. However, I often make this recipe with 1/2 cup, so you can reduce the sugar content to 1/2 cup. We'll also need 1/2 cup of granulated white sugar, 1 tablespoon of vanilla, 1 egg, and 1 egg yolk. For the dry ingredients, we'll need 2 cups of flour, 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, and of course 2 cups of semi-sweet chocolate chips. So let's begin by melting our butter. The secret to the chewiness of this recipe is in the melted butter. Using cold butter will bake a flatter cookie. Room temperature butter will make it fluffier, and melted butter gives it the perfect balance of both worlds. And that is what makes this recipe so special. Then add your sugar and vanilla. Mix until the sugar dissolves and set that aside. Let the mixture cool down to the touch. It will start to look like a very thick caramel and smell like a promise of deliciousness to come. Time for the dry ingredients. In another bowl, sift the dry ingredients together. I know the temptation is to replace the baking soda with baking powder. However, I promise you the baking soda will do its magic. Now add your wet ingredients and mix until silky smooth. Be sure to get to the bottom of the bowl where the flour is hiding out. If you're baking right away, line a cookie sheet with parchment paper or use a baking mat. Bake at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for approximately 10 to 12 minutes. The dough can be stored in the fridge for 2 to 3 days and is even better when it's chilled, I find. For storage in the event of a cookie emergency, because I know we all have them, let's make an emergency stash. You can do this 2 ways. First, place your cookie dough in a log shape on parchment paper. Wrap and place in a freezer bag. Don't forget to label the bag with the baking time to make it easier. You can also scoop individual cookies and place in the freezer for approximately 15 minutes, or in my case, my outdoor freezer for 10 minutes. It's -20 out there. One of the best parts about winter, I suppose. Add to a freezer bag, and now you have emergency cookies ready to go. They can last up to 2 months in your freezer. Unthaw in the fridge overnight and bake the next day, or simply remove from the freezer, bring them to room temperature, and bake them right away. Once baked, store in an airtight container for 2 to 3 days for optimal freshness. These guys don't stand a chance. Since you made it this far, here's a trick for getting a Nutella filling in the center. Scoop Nutella by using a teaspoon and freeze in your freezer of choice, of course. Then open your cookie dough and add to the center, making sure the dough is even all around. You can bake right away or freeze for storage. And just like that, you've made the most delicious, chewy chocolate chip cookies you may ever have. A perfect balance of the slightest crispy exterior and a deliciously chewy on the inside interior. You have to try this recipe. I promise you won't be disappointed. If you like what you see, smash the like button. And if you appreciate easy, delicious meals, consider subscribing to my channel. Please type cookie in the comments so I can welcome you to the greenhouse personally. I'm passionate about sharing recipes as well as tips on how to grow your own food year-round, because I believe sharing meals brings families together. Take care of yourself, precious one. And remember, the grass is always greener where you water it. See you next time.